A recent poll by Parade magazine found that an astounding 61% of people would not choose the same career if they had to do it all over again. The Illinois Department of Labor recently discovered that 84% of workers plan to seek a new position in 2011. And perhaps more shockingly, they discovered that only 5% plan to stay in their current role. While they are startling, these figures are a direct reflection of the times in which we live. In today's economy, is it even possible to identify and pursue a fulfilling career? Is it possible to make an exceptional living doing what you were born to do and to get out of the rat race that so many loathe? The answer to both questions is a resounding yes. Invite America's reinvention expert, Steve Olsher, to your talk show. He will captivate, entertain, and guide your audience onto the right path, while at the same time, he will tell them how they can get paid extraordinarily well for what they would gladly do for free. He will tell them how to leverage the reinvention toolbox that exists within their home to identify the right career. He'll also instruct them on how to take advantage of the recession's big fat silver lining and create the life that they really want. An in-demand media guest, Steve Olsher is the author of Journey to You, a step-by-step guide to becoming who you were born to be. He's also founder of the Reinvention Workshop and host of Reinvention Radio. His singular, no-nonsense style is sometimes controversial, but it is always compelling and engaging. The following is a recent interview of Steve Olsher on Fox TV, Milwaukee.
We do know one thing, though. Spring is a time to get a fresh outlook. Perhaps you can reinvent yourself.
That's true. Author and speaker Steve Olsher is here to help us get career satisfaction and personal happiness. Welcome and thank you.
No, I really appreciate you having me on.
Because, you know, we need more satisfaction.
Everybody needs more satisfaction.
And personal happiness.
That is for sure, so thanks for having me.
How do you reinvent yourself? I mean, at what point do you suddenly realize, I need to be reinvented?
You know, it depends.
What are the keys?
Yeah, I got to tell you, it depends on where you are in terms of that slide. For some people, you got to hit rock bottom before you realize, you know what? This is not where I want to be. For other people, they figure out, you know, somewhere between the peak and the trough that this is like, I'm heading in the wrong direction. But to me, reinvention is not really about changing anything about who you are. It's really about becoming who you inherently are. So I don't, you know, reinvention is sort of this fancy term that people are now throwing around like Burger King with the hamburger. You know, when they start talking about reinventing the hamburger,
right,
it's probably time I come up with another expression. But it's really, you know, it's really just about becoming who you inherently are.
You know what I love about what you just said is that is on the premise that who we inherently are is something wonderful. And I don't know that everybody got that memo.
You know what, and I got to tell you, it's like, at what point did you take the wrong fork in the road? Because everybody is on path at some point in their life, you know, but something happens, life happens. You know, John Lennon said, life is what happens while we're busy making other plans,
right,
you know, and so at some point, yeah, you head in a direction that's probably not congruent with who you inherently are, but as soon as you become aware of that, that's when you can step in and begin doing some of the things necessary to really get you back on point, back on path.
And that's when things aren't working, because who we inherently are is,
well,
happy people.
Yeah, how do you find that out?
You know, I got to tell you.
How did you find that out?
Well, for me, what I strongly believe is that we each have what I call your what. So the question is, what is your what? What is the one thing that your soul is compelled to do?
Yes.
So for each person, that obviously is going to vary. You know, for me, I figured out about 4 or 5 years ago that my what is really to help people discover theirs. And so I've just been privileged to work with some of the most successful people on the planet, you know, and I don't mean successful in terms of monetary necessarily.
Right.
I mean, like, you
we
can
all
look
know
at somebody
that might not lead to feeling happy.
And oftentimes it doesn't, because anytime you look outside of yourself for satisfaction or contentment or happiness or fulfillment, you're not going to find anything but, you know, an empty box when you get there. So, you know, you can look at people like Mother Teresa, you know, who brought comfort and healing to one person at a time, but certainly wasn't by any stretch of the imagination financially successful. But if you look at, you know, what she did and the impact she had on the world, people would say, boy, I would, you know, give her my right arm to have that sort of impact. So it's not always about the money, but I'm not saying the two are mutually exclusive too, you know, because you should have the opportunity to get paid extraordinarily well for what it is that you would gladly do for free. I mean, I think you should.
We agree with that.
You know, right?
I like you, Steve. Good.
We have a great time, but we
Right.
do cash the checks.
I mean, you should,
Right.
in my opinion, you should be able to live like a thief, right?
Right.
You know, because you're sitting there and you're scratching your head and you're chuckling as you go to the bank and you're cashing those checks and you're going, man, I can't believe they're paying me for this.
Because you're loving it so much.
Because you're loving it so much.
There are people probably watching right now. They're like, I've just been doing this for so long. I don't know how to break out. I might feel like I'm too old for this. What do you have to say to that?
Well, if you're having, you know, any of those negative thoughts, the first thing you got to do is give yourself a nice little punch in the mouth. You know, I mean, that's like step one because, right? I mean,
A severe uppercut to yourself.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You know, right?
Yeah.
It's like Tyson's best punch. Never mind. So the idea is, you know, really, it's a matter of just becoming aware of where you're at. And I don't care if you're 17 or if you're 71. You can get on path today.
I agree.
You know,
I do
period. End story. If you want to help people, you can go to a homeless shelter tonight. You know, if you want to go to a soup kitchen tomorrow and start serving meals, you can do that. You know, it doesn't matter where you are in your path. If you're older and you've been successful, maybe it's time to move from prominence to relevance.
Right.
You know,
Or
maybe
become
you
a
made
mentor.
Absolutely.
Right.
So again, as Katrina said, I know people are sitting, yeah, but what? What do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
and
punched yourself. What's the next step?
Now that I'm throbbing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, okay, you got my attention.
Yeah.
But see, and that's the reason why I think that the book Journey to You has been so well received, because it's not always about what to do, but it's specifically about how to do it. And so what I've done is created a number of exercises that help people become very clear on where they are, why they do what they do, and more importantly, who they were born to be, and help them create that plan of action. So there's an exercise which is called the 7 Seeds of Your Soul. 15 minutes. It will help you become crystal clear on what your what is. Because, you know, look, this is an instant gratification society. And so people just don't have the patience to wait, you know, to go through what color is your parachute and all. I mean,
Right.
those modalities
Where'd
are
you
great.
hide my cheese? You know, can't do that.
You know, again, I'm not knocking those modalities, but they were built for, you know, really a 20th century mentality.
Prior
Right.
to the computers
Exactly.
and the
Right, when we still had the
high-speed
chisel,
internet,
and you know, we were writing
right.
things to people, you know, in the caves.
Right.
You know, oh, Mark was here. Okay, you know. So, but
Now
yeah,
we know what Mark ate. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But
I heard
please.
something in what you were saying before, though, and what I love about it is, and what I heard you say, your 7 steps, is an invitation to kind of check yourself. But it is a journey. I mean, it is not a quick fix. I have found
Yep.
that the getting to know you is a process.
It is.
It's fulfilling, but it didn't happen for me overnight. You guys might be quicker
and
than
frankly, it's like, you know, it's always going to be evolving.
Yes.
But once you're in motion, you evolve, and if you're not growing, you're dying. So you have to continually grow.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. But what people get caught up in is, you know, these are the cards I've been dealt, and it's like,
Yeah, they're not. Change the deck.
change the deck. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, so we're all
I
on
love
this.
it. If you're on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Jump. March forward.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Steve. And of
Yeah.
course, we have the link to the book on our website, realmilwaukeenow.com.
This was great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Very good. All right, so Tony's getting behind-the-scenes look at Mars Cheese Castle. Good stuff.